Today we are going to study xylem and the elements of the xylem. So what is the xylem? Xylem, we all know that it is one of the conductive tissues which conducting the water and minerals nutritions upwards from root to the leaf. So here is a diagram. So the difference between that is xylem and phloem. So when you take the plants, the xylem always is transport the water, and phloem is always transport the food material. So when you compare with the water, always is the unidirectional. So it will always is move only root to leaf. But phloem, so bidirectional. So some of the times maybe the food material goes up, sometimes it may move down for the storage. Anyway, so xylem, it's one of the conductive tissues which is conducting water and minerals upwards from root to the leaf. Xylem gives the mechanical support to the plants. So not only transport the water, and it gives the mechanical support for the plants. So here also is one of the difference, xylem and phloem. So this is the plants. So when the water is absorbed, so it move towards that side. So only unidirectional. So phloem, so if that there is a photosynthesis occur here, the food is prepared, the glucose is prepared here, it may go down. Suppose here, if it is produced food material, if you want to go there, that also is possible through the phloem. That's why we call it a bidirectional, but xylem is a unidirectional, only one way, or is only one directions. So the elements of the xylem or the components of the xylem, there are four: xylem tracheids, xylem fibers, xylem vessels, and xylem parenchyma cells. So there are four elements, or there are four composition of the xylem. One is we call is a xylem tracheids, and xylem fiber, xylem vessels, and xylem parenchyma cells. So look at here. So it is divided in the four: xylem tracheids, xylem fibers, xylem vessels, and xylem parenchyma cells. So what is xylem tracheids? So these are elongated and tube like a dead cell which hard, thick, and lignified wall. So where the tracheids is, so this is the tracheids. So look at that, it seems to be like a tube like a structure. It is the elongated, and also it's a dead cell. So here it is a hard and thick walled and lignified also. So the end of the tapering end, so it seems to be like a tapering end, and blunt and sisal like, and devoid of protoplast. It means the absence of the cytoplasm and nucleus, because it is a dead cell. And they have large lumens without any content. So look at that, there is no lumens without any content. So it means we can take as a cavity, a large cavity is present. So lumens means cavity, and their function containing of water and providing the mechanical support to the plants. So what's the main function of these? So these the elements only the carried the water from root to leaf. So this is the functions, the conducting of water and providing the mechanical support to the plants. So xylem tracheid is a elongated tube like a structure. It's a dead cell. So hard and thick lignified wall are present, tapering and blunt, and sisal like a structure also is present, absence of the protoplast. So there is a lumens is present without any content. The main function of the tracheids conducting of water and providing mechanical support to the plants. So this is the vessels. So later we are going to study. So this is the tracheids. So it's a structure. So look at that. It's a elongated one, tube like a structure, thick walled. Next, xylem vessels. What is xylem vessels? Oh, it is one of the elements of the xylem. So what are the characters of the xylem vessels? So it is a long cylindrical tube like a structure with a liquefied wall. Long tube like a structure. Tube like a structure. It is a cylindrical. So we know that. So look at that. It seems to be like a cylinder. So it is a cylindrical shape and tube like a structure and liquefied. So the wall is liquefied, and in the middle of the vessels there is a central lumens. So it means central, there is a cavity is present. So these cell are dead cell. So this is also is a dead cell, as they do not have the protoplast. So because it is a dead cell, there is no nucleus and there is no cytoplasm. They are arranged in the longitudinal series in which the partitioned wall. So it means the transverse walls we can take is a cross wall. So here this cross wall is present. So and perforate means the hole like a structure is a pit. So here and there are perforate, and so the entire structure look like a water pipe. So it seems to be like a water pipe. That's the way it is described as a water pipe. The main function is to be transport of water and also provide the mechanical strength. So it will give the support and it give the mechanical support. So when you take it, there are 4 elements of xylem. 2 elements are taking the responsibility to transport the water. One is we call is a xylem tracheids. The another one is we call is a xylem vessels. So both are is a dead cell. So in the middle of the cells there is a lumens is present. There is a cavity is present. The next one we call is a xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma cells. So these cells are is elongated, liquefied and pointed at end, both end. So this is we call is a xylem fibers. So look at this. So the end is seems to be like a pointed. So here also is a pointed one, and this is also pointed end. And xylem fibers provide the mechanical support to the plants. So the main function of the xylem fibers, so it will give the mechanical support. It will give the mechanical support the plants how to be strong. So here it is the elongated and liquefied and pointed end and both side. And next ones we call is a xylem fibers. So these are a living cells and thick walled. And the main function of the xylem parenchyma is storage of starch and fatty substance. So the parenchyma cell is considered as a living cells. It is a thin wall, and the main functions it is storage of the starch. So look at, there are 4 elements: tracheids and xylem vessels. It is a cylindrical shape. It is a elongated tube like a structure, and xylem parenchyma cells and xylem fibers. So all together we call is a complex tissue. So we already studied what is the complex tissue. Presence of more than one type of a cell work together as a unit that we call is a complex tissue. So xylem also is considered as a complex tissue because there are 4 elements: xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. All together do the functions as a unit. That's why it is considered as a complex tissue. So once again I repeat that, Xylem Packets, so it is the elongated one, this is the one, and so it seems to be like this. And Xylem Vessels, it is a cylindrical shape, liquefied walls, there is no protoplast. Transversion walls also is present, it seems to be like a pipe structures. So Xylem fibers and Xylem parenchyma cells. Xylem parenchyma cell is considered as a living cells and the main storage of the starch and fatty substance. Thank you.